Hi everyone, it's Nicole here today for Lawn Fawn with a card chair showcasing the new Turn Me On mini stamp set and dies. It is a stamp set that has this little light bulb, light switch, and then a couple little faces, the heart, filament, and a greeting. It's a great little mini stamp set. I am going to start by stamping multiples of the light bulb on some Bristol smooth cardstock. And then I'm going to stamp the light switch as well, and then color all of these images in with the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I'm using the Ranger Archival Jet Black ink. This is a great ink for watercoloring. This paper might not be specifically won't have the name watercolor in it, but I really prefer it for these Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. They go on super smooth. The results are fabulous. They look beautiful. The paper doesn't really pill like some of the other watercolor papers that I've tried, so I highly, highly recommend this. The colors I am using to color in my light bulbs and the light switch are shown across the bottom of the screen. I'm sticking to pinks and reds for the insides or the filament of the light bulb, and then for the light bulb itself I am using yellows. I'm going to continue to color all of these until I have all of the light bulbs colored. I'm just going to alternate the hearts between pink and red, and then the rest of the light bulb with some yellow. I had briefly thought about implementing some other colors, but I decided to stick with just the pinks and the reds. The light switch is going to be all pink. I'm going to use that 025 and 200 to color it in. And originally I had only colored 4 of the light bulbs. I went ahead and went back and did all 5. I felt like I needed them to really fill in the border design. I'm going to just draw very lightly. You can see in this with a little more surface area how great these blend on this smooth cardstock. If you lay down the dark color and then gradually pull that color out, it gives you just a lovely, lovely gradation of color. So the light plate itself, light switch plate is pink, and then the light switch is going to be red. And I'll add a little bit of embellishment to that here in a little bit. I did go around that center portion or the filament with the darker yellow color and then pull out with my lighter color. And then at the base, I used a couple of shades of gray. Once those are colored in, I'm going to grab my coordinating Turn Me On dies, place those right over the images, tape them in place with a little post-it tape, and run them through my Big Shot die cutting machine. I will have to run them through several times to get all of those light bulbs. So I'll continue to do that till I have all of my light bulbs cut out, and then I'm going to add a little embellishment to these. And that way the glossy accents that I'm going to apply has time to dry while I work on the rest of the card. I'm going to take a white gel pen and draw a little highlight on each of the hearts. Just really quickly. Then I'm going to take the Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen, and because this is a water-based product as well, it will pick up some of that color from the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. In fact, you could use it to blend out the color if you wanted to, maybe even if you were going for a little bit lighter color. So you're going to want to just kind of wipe the tip of that marker off when you're all finished. Because I won't be cross-contaminating with colors, I'm only coloring in the yellow area of the light bulb. I didn't worry about brushing it off on a scrap piece of paper in between each of these. When I was finished, I did take a scrap of paper and clean off the tip, and it's good to go again. Lost a couple of those little highlights, so I went back over them. Then on the light switch, I am going to do one of my favorite things to add texture, and that's draw some little lines back and forth. Create a great little crosshatch design on the light plate. It's really subtle, but it adds a fun little touch and definitely dresses up this image. Little polka dots would be cute here, I think, as well. Next, I'm going to take the border stamp the Argyle backdrops, and I'm going to use the solid image first with my Misty, and I'm going to ink it up with the new plastic flamingo ink from Lawn Fawn. This is part of the Valentine's release. And the great thing about the Misty is you can ink it up 2 times and press it down in place, and it's going to stamp in the exact same place both times. So my first impression wasn't quite as dark, or it didn't get as covered up as it needed to be. So I stamped it twice, and I end up doing that for all 3 impressions here so that they all look really uniform. I'm going to move it down and then line that up and stamp the top portion. What I'm doing is creating my own pattern paper. This is going to be a great Argyle design that coordinates with the rest of my card. I accidentally kind of got a little ink transfer there when I was testing it, but that's okay, it got covered up. Do that one more time, and there is the first stamping. Next, I'm going to take the little dashed pattern, line that up where I want it to go, pick it up, close the Misty and pick it up, and ink it up with the lobster red ink, and then stamp that in place. And what it's going to give me is a really great, fun pattern paper design. You could do this in so many different colors. This is just a really fun way to create your own pattern papers that perfectly coordinate with your card design. So maybe you don't have exactly the pattern paper that you want at home. Make your own. I love border stamps and background stamps for this reason. So there is my background. I'm going to just trim that down a little bit so that it's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Next, I'm going to take some white cardstock, and I'm going to use one of these stitched borders dies to add a decorative border here along one edge. I love that you can create lots of different decorative borders with this die collection. There's 4 different borders. I'm going to get my little decorative border here. I'll pop that die off. And then I'm going to take the greeting from the Turn Me On stamp set and stamp that with the black licorice ink right above my die cut border. Then I need to lay out my images, and just for spacing so I know how far to cut my strip. I like to do it this way so that I don't accidentally cut it too thin or even too wide and add both decorative borders. So I like to do one, add any stamping I want to do with the greeting, then I'll go ahead and line that up. I haven't adhered any of those images yet. Trim off the excess, go ahead and line up that border again, tape it in place, and then run it through the big shot again. And it'll give me that great decorative border on each side. Now I can go ahead and attach all of those elements right to my border. So I'm going to just lay them out, make sure everything's still looking good. And then I will attach everything with some glue dots. And I'm going to use the medium-sized glue dots to attach these. There's some nice big ones, and they're really sticky. I decided I thought I needed a little bit more color, so I'm going to die cut 2 scallop borders with the stitched scallop borders dies. This is from some lipstick red cardstock. I'll add some adhesive to the back of both long sides, and then I'll pick up those scallop borders, make sure they're lined up, and now I can go ahead and attach that to the background and start attaching my light bulbs and the light switch. Anything that's hanging off the sides I can just trim up really easily. So here are those light bulbs, and I think what makes it really fun is kind of having them go not lined up perfectly. So some of them are upside down, tipped at an angle. It just gives a much more natural look. Go ahead and attach these last 2 real quick. And I'm going to attach this to my side fold white card base from Simon Says Stamp. And then I'm going to take the glossy accents and fill in the heart area on each of these. Just the heart area. You could also do the whole light bulb if you wanted to, but I really wanted to highlight the heart area and have that have a little bit of a glossy raised design. The nozzle tip here really makes it easier for precision placement. And then I'm going to take some bling adhesive dots and attach Pretty Pink Posh sequins. I'm using the Sweetheart Mix plus the blush, pink blush size, 6mm size. And I'm going to add a scattering of these. They're all in pinks and reds and a little bit of white. And then I'll finish with some clear gemstones in the center of those, and then scatter just a few of the clear gemstones throughout this as well to finish up my card design. I'm using an X-Acto knife to pick up those clear gemstones easily, place those in the center of the sequins. Makes it much easier than trying to pick them up with my fingers. Here's those few that I'm going to scatter throughout without a sequin. And that is going to finish up this fun Love Valentine's themed card. Thanks for watching this video showcasing the Lawn Fawn Turn Me On stamps and dies. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.